Deployment of the RescuePod is a simple two-stage process. Firstly, lifting the cover on the activation module located inside the window allows the pod doors outside to spring open. Then, pulling down on the red release handle deploys the elevator into position ready for use. This deployment process takes just 5 seconds to complete. Once inside the elevator, the occupants then simply select the down command on the control panel and the elevator descends safely to the ground. The average descent time from a typical 2-story window is just 15 seconds. RescuePod, your strong and silent partner.
John, nice to see you. This is John O'Brien, folks. John is from Cork. What part of Cork, John?
Down in Mitchelstown, just outside Mitchelstown.
Good on you.
Village, Kilbinny.
Called?
Yeah, Kilbinny.
You got to get that right now.
Yeah.
Now, you're here to tell us about the RescuePod or just RescuePod?
RescuePod.
RescuePod,
yeah. RescuePod.
which is what?
It's essentially an automated fire escape system, the first automated fire escape system for domestic dwellings.
Okay, which means that... let's take it from this part first. And maybe
okay, this is the pod enclosure that you see up in the back wall. It mounts under the windowsill of your fire escape window. And it's deployed by the use of a simple little release mechanism located inside the window. Yeah. And once deployed, it springs open into action to
let's go and see what happens once you pull a lever behind the...
Just inside the window?
Inside the window, and then this happens.
In 5 seconds, this is what you end up with.
Which is a lift, is it? Is that the...
It's an elevator, a full-scale elevator. A platform here. Once it's deployed, the occupants simply walk out into the elevator, select the down command, it descends safely to the ground, and it does that in less than about 15 seconds.
And how many people will fit on such a thing?
This can take half a ton weight, which is typically 500 kilos. A full family, essentially. This is the family size unit.
Okay. So it starts off life as a box, and heaven forbid it may be used as a lift in the event of a fire happening in the house.
Exactly, and that's what it's specifically designed for. It has no other purpose other than to evacuate a full family in less than 30 seconds out of a burning house.
Okay, yeah. And without being facetious about it, if some people who are very careful about things will have something like a rope ladder, or something they can throw out the back just in the event of. You say to them.
That's the problem, There's a public perception out there that it's possible to evacuate an entire family through an upstairs window at night in a smoke-filled environment using a rope ladder. What I would say is try that in the middle of a nice sunny day when you have plenty of people around with help and you just won't get out yourself, not to mind evacuate a family. That's just not possible. That's not realistic. And that's why we have 320 people dying, men, women and children, every year in Ireland and the UK from house fires. And I mean, people know this. What they don't know, what's less publicised, is that there's about 9,500 people being admitted with serious injuries and burns.
Yes.
And a lot of those from jumping from the upstairs windows.
Okay. And with a view to talking about the product itself now, why did you decide to go down this route? We've heard so many different stories about why people went into the business they went into, they came up with the idea they did. Why did you go this road? I have
a long history. I'm an engineer, I have a long history of construction. And I remarried a couple of years ago and we were designing our own house, Karen and I.
Yes. And
it was around the middle of 2010 and there had been a number of well-publicised and really tragic cases down our way where there was children involved. One parent actually jumped out a window with one child with the intention of coming back to rescue the second one, and it just never happened because he got badly injured.
Okay, so you wanted
really sad case.
Yeah,
we had 6 children between us, and I said to myself, could you make that decision of catching one of your children? You just couldn't do it.
Okay, so that was a very personal decision.
Exactly. So for our own house, we designed this for our own, and it was only later on, in about maybe 2,000 hours of design later, we realised the commercial viability of this.
And how is the commercial viability? What are people saying to you, and where are you at business-wise?
Before the design of this, we conducted our own extensive primary research because there was no secondary data available for this, because there is no automated fire escape system for domestic dwellings. The industrial sector is fairly well looked after. We interviewed 130 typical families, and 128 of them loved it, and that's a huge uptake for any product.
Okay, is it expensive? I mean, that's obviously
we just don't know yet. We just finished prototyping. We're in this. I mean, the challenge up to now has been to design it.
Yes.
The challenge going forward will be to make sure that it's affordable to the people who really need this. It will probably mean we'll sell it at a loss for a while to make sure that people can have this, or have some option better than what they have at the moment.
Okay, it's a remarkable idea, I have to say. Well, good luck with it, John, and thanks for coming in to see us.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
John O'Brien, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, John.